Early detection or late diagnosis. The difference can be measured not just in survival rates, but in the billions of rands in claims. Discovery Life's data reveals a 62% increase in early-stage cancer detection since 2020, while stage 4 cancer disability claims dropped by 16% in just 1 year. Behind these numbers are thousands of South African families whose lives have changed because of a simple screening test. Hello and welcome to our final episode of Discovery Life's podcast series, Protection as Unique as the Life It Covers. I'm Lwandile Bengu, and over the last 2 episodes, we have unpacked some of the headline data from the Discovery Life's claim statistics, as well as looked into shared value. We're now shifting our attention into what the data tells us about South Africans' health, particularly around cancer screening, early detection, and mental health challenges. Joining me today is Dr. Marita van der Walt, Discovery Life's Chief Medical Officer, whose medical expertise will help us understand the life-changing impact preventative healthcare has and what some of this data reveals about South Africans. Doc, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Wandile.
I'd like to start off with what I introed with, which is cancer. While the data shows us some significant strides made in cancer, we still see that cancer was the highest cause of death among women, the most common severe illness among men and women, and the most common cause for disability among men and women. Please, could you unpack that with me?
Yes, that is correct, Wandile. Unfortunately, cancer is still a very, very high claims event in all the different benefits. We've seen, and that is not new, that breast cancer in women makes up about 41% of cancer claims. In men, prostate cancer is the highest claim event. And then interestingly enough, malignant melanoma is the third highest cancer claim. What is interesting about malignant melanoma is that it's obviously for men and women, and across all the age bands. With Discovery Life has also introduced the early cancer benefit for melanoma in situ, which is a very early cancer. It's also called stage 0 cancer or non-invasive cancer. The importance of that is that 2 things. One is it is totally treatable. Picked up early, diagnosed early, and treated early, and the prognosis is so much better than the later stages. And then, of course, from then onwards, increased surveillance, careful follow-up, that if something comes back or there's a second malignant melanoma, that once again, one can treat it very early and have the same very good outcome.
And then just looking from the data, from the trends report, speaking on screening, what does the data tells us about screening and early screening?
It is so important because, as we know, your stage 1 cancers has got an excellent prognosis generally. We have the medical literature that shows us for early stage breast cancer or early stage prostate cancer, for example, the survival rates is like 95-99% 5-year survival rates, where if it's stage 4, late stage metastatic cancer, those survival rates drop significantly. So it is so important that we screen and diagnose and treat early. Then, of course, if the cancer comes back, that you have a benefit where the cancer relapse is covered, and that a second cancer, because we see those as well, that there's a second unrelated cancer, which we call a second primary, that those are also paid out because you need the actual financial coverage to help you deal with these life-changing events.
Now, doctor, outside of screening prevention, what are the immediate steps that our listeners can take in order to live a healthier, cancer-free life?
Wandile, it is now well known that a healthy lifestyle can prevent so many diseases, including cancer. It wasn't always that well known. But now we know that 4 lifestyle factors, which is smoking, too much alcohol, unhealthy diet, and a sedentary lifestyle, can lead to 4 chronic diseases. And these diseases are cardiovascular diseases, which would be your heart attacks and strokes, diabetes, which is, of course, again, a risk factor for all your vascular complications, as well as cancer and chronic lung diseases. So if you can address the 4 lifestyle factors, you reduce your risk for those very impactful chronic diseases.
And then just talking about these life-changing events, we know that Discovery is really big on rewarding people for living a healthier life. Looking at the data, how does their incentive program sort of help people achieve healthier lives?
That is a very important question. We know that people respond to rewards. So the first thing is to know your risk. And we reward people to go for the screenings and the tests. And even if we might not like having your body weight measured and so on, that we do it because it results in points. And that moves us up through the various statuses up to diamond status where you get rewarded. So first of all, know your risk. And then if anything is out of range, that you're incentivized to do something about it. And then you get rewarded. So that works very well because we see it across the board that our people on diamond and gold status have less claims and they just have a bit of quality of life. So it's not just about points and about claims, but it is quality of life. And the new buzzword is health span, not just your lifespan, but to make your lifespan and your health span equally high quality of life.
And just speaking on health span, I think a really important part of health span is mental health. So could you maybe...
important.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have seen a spike in our suicide claims, and that is very concerning across the board, but also specifically in the older ages. It is so important that we address that and that people are aware that they can ask for help and that we address it. It starts with a vitality screening, Vitality Age, where we do a mental health screening. And if there are red flags, those people are offered help. And then we must not forget that a healthy lifestyle with exercise and eating healthily does not only impact on your physical well-being, but also on your mood and your mental well-being.
And then before we wrap up, Doc, sort of what are some of the key takeaways you'd like people to sort of impart from this data?
Well, the most important one is the screening and the early detection with the much better outcome. And then to address the holistic picture, not just the physical stuff, but as the mental health and the exercise and the actual lifestyle in order to improve the quality of life. We sometimes forget about all the additional and hidden costs of dealing with cancer. People are most often off from work. They have to travel. Sometimes they don't live in big centers where there's oncology services, so they have to travel. They have to find extra accommodations. Sometimes they have to find help to look after children. And if we look at other factors, sometimes people have to adjust a house to be wheelchair friendly. So there are so many hidden costs and additional costs over and above the medical costs. We know that cancer is a prescribed minimum benefit on the health side, on medical aids, but there could be co-payments, which can be substantial depending on the type of treatment and the duration of treatment. And so there is just so many other things to deal with that if you don't have to worry about the finances, you can just deal with the emotional impact of a life-changing event.
That's absolutely true. Dr. Marita, thank you so much for your time and for all your insights and taking us beyond the numbers and beyond the statistics and showing us how tangible the Discovery Life Claims Experience data is. Thank you.
Thank you, Wandile.
Well, there we have it. 3 highly impactful episodes that uncovered some of the key trends and statistics from the Discovery Life 2024 Life Claims Experience Report. We hope that these insights will help you live a better and healthier life. Thank you for listening, and here's to a life well lived.